turned all the way up. There we go. Hold on. On Instagram, I've got a plant like right next to my phone. So I want to make sure that we're good. Hello, hello, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We are talking about top sales producer mindset today. And I actually wanted to do this as a bit of a Q&A. So we had some people submit questions ahead of time that I'm going to be answering, which I'm really excited for. And we are also going to be taking questions live. If you're joining live and you have a question, if we have not met before, I'm Elise Archer. I'm the founder and CEO of She Sells and Superhuman Selling. And this is my passion. I want to pour into you and help you achieve. Allison, good morning. So good to see you. Help you achieve your sales, your business, and even more importantly, your life goals through this work. So if you're joining us live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, pop me a comment. Let me know you're here. And we're going to be getting into it. So let's start reading off these questions that we received. And again, if you're joining live and you have a question on top sales producer mindset, pop it in the chat so that I can answer it directly for you. Brooke, good morning. Brooke is one of our new consultants. She's going to be coming in and getting certified as a consultant. We are so excited and happy to have you doing that. So let's see here. Let me pull up the questions that came in yesterday when we started. Okay, I'm going to start with, let's see here. Laura asked, how do I start to dream beyond what I've already accomplished? I feel blocked. How do I start to dream beyond what I've already accomplished? I feel blocked. Camilla, good afternoon. So good to see you. Hello, hello. Camilla is another beautiful member of our community. We're so happy to have you. So let's talk about this question that came in. And I haven't prepped the answers to any of these questions. I just want to share live and from the heart with everything that was asked. So when we have reached a certain level of success in our lives and we've maybe done the things that we always dreamed of, right? And I don't know if you've been there. If you have, let me know in the chat. Give me a heart, give me a yes, where it's like you've accomplished everything that at one point in your life you thought would be it, right? And you were like, this would be ultimate success. And I find this a lot with the members of our community who are high achievers, who are driven, who are ambitious, is you can reach a certain level of accomplishment. And then suddenly it's like, okay, what's next, right? How do I expand beyond what I've already done? And so for Laura, for your question of how do I start to dream beyond what I've already accomplished? I think the first thing that I would say is to know that there is something even greater and even better out there for you than what you've already accomplished. Now, when I say that, the energy with this is not at all about like lack of gratitude or downplaying anything that already exists in your life. And in fact, gratitude is the energy we want to be in as often as possible throughout the day and throughout our lives, right? Gratitude for everything that's already happened and gratitude for what's coming. And I know by the very fact that you are here and you're still breathing and oh, good, you're here. I'm answering your question right now. The fact that you're here, that you're still breathing, that you are still on this planet and that you're asking this question, there is something more for you to do. There is something more for you to accomplish. There is something more for you to experience. And so when we really get that we are wired for expansion, that's how we, as spiritual beings having a human experience, that's how we are wired. We are meant to consistently expand, to grow, to elevate our experience here, to have a higher and better self-concept. Then we can trust that there's always something new that's wanting to emerge through us. And I think this is also part of top sales producer mindset, is being open to the expansion and being open to experiencing something even greater than you have before, right? Opening yourself up to even greater financial flow than you have before. Opening yourself up to even greater service than you have before, even greater experiences than you have before. So there's another question that came through on motivation, which I'll speak to in a minute. But to me, this is part of being motivated and um, staying in that energy of expansion is where we really open ourselves up to what is the highest and greatest possibility for my career and for my life. Right. So we play with this energy. So if you are, and if you all see, my husband is he's running around behind me. Y'all, we have an event tomorrow. Some of you are going to be there, which I'm so excited for. We have an event kicking off tomorrow here in Portland, Maine, all about money. So some of you who are watching live, I know you're traveling in right now in real time. We can't wait to see you. So if you see my sweet hubby behind me running around, he is getting supplies ready to bring to the event center. We are a family business. We do all the things, and I appreciate him. So that's all that's going on behind me. But what was I saying? Okay. When you are in that place where you are wondering what is next, right? What is next for me in my life? What I would go to, this is one of those times where you want to get as quiet and still as possible, which can be challenging if you're used to being in go mode, if you're used to being in just like do mode. But there's something that's meant to emerge. There's something new that's meant to come through you. So this is a really good time to get out in nature. This is a really good time to go into meditation. This is a really good time to get still and present with that voice, that guidance within you, and to ask. And I love to frame it through, if there were no consequences or limitations, right? What would be happening right now in my life? And a lot of times we know what we want, we know what we desire, we know what we would love, but we feel blocked because we haven't let ourselves accept that could be a reality for us, or we haven't let ourselves go there, or we've told ourselves that we want too much, we're too this, we're too that. A lot of the members of our community have that experience. So with that, that is how we start to get present to it and let it unfold. It's like you don't want to, try to pull the flower apart before it's ready to bloom. It wouldn't survive that way. So if you're in a season where you're wondering what's next, remember, know that there is something next. There is something greater. You are wired for expansion. You're designed to have more. And with that, though, we get to let the answer to that question kind of be a natural unfolding. And it will come if you're open to it, and it will feel, intuition feels small, quiet. Well, I shouldn't say it feels small. It's not the loud voice in your head that's the voice of fear or the analytical mind telling you, like, over analyzing everything. That's not intuition. That's fear. Your intuition is quiet. It's not usually a lot. It's like a small nudge, like, go here, follow this, do that. That's our intuition. It's quiet, it's calm. It will push the boundaries of what you think is possible for you. It will push the limits in terms of your self-concept. I mean, even the event series that we launched it this summer here in Maine, and we're going to do it every year in the summer. And it's like a 3-workshop series that our clients are coming in for. I had the vision for this, I think like January, February. And I messaged one of my team members and I was like, wouldn't it be great if we did this? And, there was a part of me that was like, okay, this is like, you're talking about putting on a 3-part event series, as working part-time hours as a mom, we're a small but mighty team. And so of course I got to bump up against some belief barriers with that, but my intuition was like, no, follow this, do this. We had our first event by April. It was phenomenal. We've got the second one tomorrow. We've got our final one in September, all about masculine, feminine energy. But I had to follow that intuitive nudge that this is the direction to go in. I hope that makes sense. And I see some questions are coming in live, which is beautiful. So I'm going to answer the questions that were pre-submitted first. And then if you do have a question, we're talking today about top sales producer mindset. And I'm here to answer your questions. So let me go to the next one that came in here. This is from Instagram as well. Let's see here. Jess said, how to stay motivated in day-to-day in a long sales corporate career. Okay. I love it. I love it. So if the only thing that we consider a win is I'm getting the deal, like I'm inking a deal today, then we're putting our success in something outside of us. And this is actually a big mistake that a lot of us make. And it's not just in sales, it's in life too, right? But saying, I am wealthy and abundant when X amount of money is in the bank. I am a successful sales producer when I've closed this amount of deals. Here's the thing. We've been taught it completely backwards. The whole game is an inside out game. You must start first with your self concept and with looking at what results would I love. So you're in corporate sales. Jess, what results would you love to be experiencing right now? And then we're actually going to be talking about this at the event this week. So I don't want to give too much away, but stop making your focus so much about, okay, I'm only successful when I've closed this deal, when I've accomplished these goals. Instead, I want you to focus on who is the version of me who has those results. So we do an exercise in our programs called New Personality, Old Personality. And the key is to look at for whatever results you want, because we don't get what we want in life, we get what we are. So whatever results you want in your business, in your sales, you want to look at, well, who is the person who has that, who has those results? And our Dr. Joe Dispenza says this, our personality creates our personal reality. Your personality is comprised of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. All right, your thoughts, your feelings, and actions. So with that, we want to tune into what would the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions be of someone with that end goal accomplished. And we actually write it out. We write it out on a sheet of paper. We have a template we have our clients use for this. And then we also simultaneously have to get present to how have I been showing up now, right? Because the version of you who's showing up now in your business or in your sales is the one who's creating the results to whatever level they are or not coming in. So we want to get present to what are the thoughts that I'm thinking on a regular basis that I wouldn't be thinking from that end goal accomplished? What are the feelings that I'm feeling on a regular basis? Impatience, frustration, anxiety, that if the goal was accomplished, I wouldn't be like, that's not the emotional state I would be in. And then what are the actions that I'm taking on a daily basis that I wouldn't be taking from that place? Whether it's procrastination, whether it's complaining, whether it's scrolling social media, like whatever it is, like pay attention to that and write that down. That's the old personality. That and your work becomes not focusing so much on just how can I get to that end result. The end result will take care of itself naturally when you focus on being a match for the person who has those results. So we focus not so much on manifesting or achieving a certain goal, but rather manifesting and achieving the version of you who has that goal accomplished. And when you do that, every single day is an adventure. Every single day is exciting. I'm doing this work myself every single day because there's another level that I want to experience in my life of, financial success, of business impact, of opportunities. And then on the personal side, I want to experience greater and greater levels of love. I want to experience greater and greater levels of joy. I want to experience greater health. So I'm focused daily on manifesting or being the version of me, the woman who has those results accomplished, trusting that the end results will take care of themselves. I hope that's making sense. So that becomes the work. And when that becomes our focus and we shift the focus away from that, like, again, I'm only focused on signing the contract or inking the deal. And if I don't do it today, I'm not a success. Like, trust, I've been there, done that, lived that life in corporate sales. And even as an entrepreneur, that was how I thought at the beginning. That's not how you quantum leap. You quantum leap by focusing on who you are being and who do I need to be to have those results. You will find that it becomes a game. It becomes you focus on the process, right? And that's where you find your satisfaction, your fulfillment. That's where you find your joy. And then from that place, again, the results will happen. Like, trust, they will happen. But you're taking your power back and focusing on the elements that are within your control, which is your own evolution. I hope that makes sense and helps answer the question. There was another question that came in from the community. Let's see here. Val on Instagram. Val's another beautiful 10K Club community member. And by the way, Val, if you're watching the replay, happy birthday, Eve. Happy birthday tomorrow. Let's see what her question was. How do you shift the scarcity mindset and keep it from creeping in? Okay, this is good. So here's the thing. Scarcity is a lie. It's not actually real. Now, if you believe it's real, and if you have a paradigm of scarcity, that will be your experience, because we always experience what our beliefs are. So 2 people can have 100 grand in the bank, 1 million in the bank, 10 million in the bank, $10 in the bank, doesn't matter. One person can look at that and say, thank you, that's more than enough. All right, I'm so grateful. I'm going to bless and multiply this. We talk about bless and multiply energy when it comes to money and clients and opportunities. Another person, no matter how much they have in the bank, can look at that and feel scarcity, fear, lack, not enoughness, right? What's the difference? The money's the same. It's the person. It's their perspective. So again, the work is not about, let me make X amount of money because then I'll feel abundant. If you don't feel abundant now with whatever you have in the bank, you're not going to feel abundant then with more. So instead, again, we make the work. What would it be like to embody abundance? Right? And what do I think abundant people are like? How do they think? How do they feel? How do they operate? What sort of actions do they take in their business and in their life? And we shift the focus. And what happens is when we shift the focus away from scarcity thoughts, right, or scarcity thinking, and with anything we shift our focus away from in our lives, it withers, it dies from lack of attention. So don't fight against the old paradigm. It was probably given to you. A lot of this, epigenetics shows that these belief systems and this, that there's things, stored in our body, our energy body, our real body, certainly our neural pathways that are from our ancestors who went through times of famine or times of scarcity, or maybe you had scarcity conditioning planted into you growing up, right? Most of us do. I certainly did. This has been a lot of my life's work, is to learn what it's like to be abundance. And notice how I say that. I focus on being abundance, not having abundance. Because if you focus on being it, you will have it ultimately, right? Because your outer world is just going to mirror to you who you're being, your self-concept, who you believe yourself to be. So if you have an identity, a self-concept as a naturally abundant person, is that person going to have experiences that feel like scarcity? No. Now, what I know though, is by the fact of you asking that question, your soul is ready for this. You're in an evolution, and it's really beautiful, because I asked questions like that too when I was earlier in this process, because I would still have the old thinking creep in. I would still have the old paradigms creep in. And it's all about what you focus on. So again, you make the work, not, okay, how can I control or micromanage the amount of money in the bank? How can I look for the best deal here? No. Again, is an abundant person doing that? No, not in that energy. Absolutely not. You make the work manifesting and being the most abundant version of yourself. What are her thoughts or his thoughts? What are your feelings? What are your actions? And you'll rewire your neural pathways in that process. And again, let it be a process. You've spent however many decades developing one way of thinking. And if you try this for a couple weeks or a couple months or a couple years, and you say, oh, it hasn't totally changed yet, think about how long you spent in the other way of being. You got to give it some time, right? But I also believe that you can, with emotional impact and strong decision, you can change that very quickly. You can change a paradigm quickly. It's like people who get a health diagnosis and immediately they snap out of the old bad behaviors, right? You can do this. Like you can change this quickly if you decide to. It comes down to your level of decision. But if you've been at it for a while and you're still experiencing some of the old scarcity thinking or ways of being, just let it be a process, but practice every day being abundance. I hope that helps. Those were the pre-submitted questions. Let me see here. Hello, hello. For those of you joining live, good to see you. We're talking about top sales producer mindset, and I'm answering questions that came in ahead of time. And a lot of these questions are from my community, which is beautiful because you all know that I love these questions. You get it. Sales and what you're experiencing in your sales is so much more about your self-concept, your mindset, your belief systems, your financial frequency, the way that you operate and navigate in the world than about give me this one strategy and tactic, right? So these questions show your level of consciousness. I want to answer Camilla. And if you're joining live, we've got a few more minutes. So pop in if you have a question on anything that's been asked, or if you have a question on top sales producer mindset, pop it in the comments and I will answer it if I can. Camilla asked, I'm struggling with what I have subconsciously locked out. Okay, so here's what I would say. What we resist persists, right? And I would also ask, is that story around where I am right now in my life, is that serving me to say, I've subconsciously locked something out and I'm struggling with it, but I can't access it? How empowering is that story to you? Right? So there's a lot of wisdom in your question in that you understand that the subconscious controls your thoughts, feelings, actions, and ultimately your results. So there's a lot of wisdom in the question, right? And often when we are at the precipice of another level or we're ready to, I found this in my own life, like sometimes there's a deep-seated belief system or way of being that I've been operating in for so long that I'm not even really present to any other way. Okay. I remember this even with like when I was overcoming and dealing with an eating disorder years ago. Like I had been in that energy for so long, it just felt normal and natural to feel like I had to control everything that went in my body and to be like obsessively thinking about calories and food and all of this. And when I had a wonderful mentoring coach who I hired to help me kind of through this. And she opened me up to like, this is not everyone's experience. There is another way of being. And at first it felt so foreign that there could even be anything else outside of that paradigm that I'd been operating in, that it felt kind of out of reach. It was like, okay, I'm hopeful that this is the case. I believe that this could be the case for other people, not for me yet, right? But I believe it could be the case for me, maybe. And I just had to get open to there is a different way to approach this. There is another level that I am ready for, and I'm ready for it because I'm present to the fact that I want to make a change here, right? So that's how we know we're ready. But then to create the story of I've locked myself out and I can't figure out what it is, that's not going to be an empowering approach to this. So I would change the energy around it and say something to the extent of like, I'm really excited and ready to find out what that next level is and to become the person who has it. And I know that I always have the right downloads and information right when I need them. And if you develop that relationship with yourself and that self concept, you can literally sit down and go to your journal or go to meditation or whatever your process is and ask subconscious, please show me, like, what am I worried about for this next level? What am I afraid of? What am I not seeing right now? Right. And just start asking. And you can ask this question before you go to sleep. And oftentimes in the morning, you'll have an answer, or the next day, or a couple days from there, you'll have an answer. Like you'll get an answer. The whole job of the subconscious is to serve you and to give you the answers to the questions you ask. But we want to create a different experience rather than I'm locked out from it to I'm open. And I know that I always get the information that I need when I need it. Does that make sense? So, so I hope that helps. And then also just like being open to what resources show up, what ideas show up, what Inspiration shows up. Follow those nudges, pull that thread, because those are all being positioned in your path to help you, navigate and move through to that higher level of awareness that you're seeking, right? And then we also, again, it's kind of like we stop making the goal. I would focus on clarity, right? Like, what is the energy of clarity? What is it like what other times in my life have I felt really clear? Right? Like maybe you had just a knowing of something for your daughter. And it's like, I know what clarity feels like. So I'm going to tap into that. I'm making my goal right now clarity. Right? So play with that. Play with that energy. That's really good. Does anyone else have a question? I'll share a free resource that you can tap into for this. While you think of, I've got like 3 minutes and I've got a discovery call. But if you want to go deeper into this work, we have a brand new free event we just announced, which I'm really excited for, July 29th through 31st. So coming up in about 2 weeks here, a little less than 2 weeks, called Feminine Frequency. I am feeling extremely called to teach and talk about and help you implement and integrate feminine energy into your life, your business, your way of being. Feminine energy is not about being female. It's the energy of the quantum leap. It's the energy of being. It's the energy of alignment. It's the energy of higher financial frequency. So we are having this event totally free. Again, elisearcher.com/feminine frequency. If you want to get registered, all are welcome. We would love to have you. The landing page says women, but men are welcome. Everyone's like, come one, come all. We want to have you there. Beautiful. I hope that this is in service to you. I'm going to take a minute to say goodbye to my hubby before he leaves for the day. Thank you for being here. We'll be back next Tuesday. And if you have questions on anything we talked about, or you want to hop on a call with me or my team to explore how we can help support you in quantum leaping your sales and your life, send me a DM. We are here. We would love to support you. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.